I'm Drake Menning, and this is my video reaction number 1. I found the information from the Piscataqua River presentation to be very interesting and informative. I never really thought about clothing being a pollutant or the manufacturing of clothing having such a negative impact on the environment. But after watching the video and hearing all the statistics, I totally agree with the presentation. It was shocking to hear that only less than 2% of our clothing is still American-made, which is a large part of the problem. With China using coal as energy and using so much energy to produce the clothing, it pollutes our environment even more. I am somewhat surprised at the facts about polyester. I never really thought about it being a non-biodegradable plastic that is so bad for our environment and planet in so many ways. I agree that we as Americans in general buy too much unnecessary clothing, which continues to fuel this pollution and unjust system. I have always heard negative things about the working conditions in overseas factories, but never thought about it in terms of having the power to stop these conditions by not buying the clothes. After thinking more about it, it does seem there are so many more stores selling fashion clothing for extremely low prices. With the companies outsourcing and making their clothes overseas, it makes sense that they can sell them so cheaply. This seems to be good for the manufacturer at the time, but they are already hurting the environment, and by selling goods so inexpensively, it fuels the need to make even more, ever increasing the harm to the environment. While it is good that the clothing factories and stores selling the clothing are providing jobs, the majority of them are not providing a decent wage to even make a living, and this should be stopped. I agree that we need to start buying less clothing, especially fast fashion items, and do our research when it comes to what we do buy. If we all do our part as citizen consumers to check the labels and be conscious of what we are buying, how it was made, where it was made, and under what conditions, we can gain more power over this situation. More American companies need to make an effort to use organic products in their clothing, get materials from right here in America, and put more effort into making clothing designed for our day-to-day activities with natural and breathable materials. This would help clean up the environment and begin to make manufacturing away from overseas manufacturers. By being more environmentally conscious and only buying items we really need and those that have been made in an environmentally friendly manner, we can stop the production of fast fashion and stop the harmful impact to our environment. If we don't buy the clothing made under these harmful conditions, there won't be the demand to make as much, which will lead to less destruction of the planet and less people in unhealthy working conditions. Although the manufacturing of clothing doesn't seem like something that would affect me, after watching this presentation, I feel it can and will impact myself and all of us in numerous ways if something is not changed soon. The manufacturing of polyester alone is harming humans and our ecosystem, which is hurting the sustainability of the earth. With more and more pieces of polyester clothing being produced each year, more fossil fuels are being used. It is increasing the carbon output and putting more microplastics into the ocean and food chain, and eventually into the bodies of humans. Not only is this creating numerous possible health risks, which impacts humans, the environmental impact is becoming catastrophic. The Earth cannot continue to support human life in future years if it continues to be polluted in this way. We need a healthy environment to provide sustainability to keep our planet and ecosystem cycling properly. Polyester is made of fossil fuels, which is a non-renewable resource. If we continue to use fossil fuels to manufacture clothing, there will be none left for the things we actually need them for in the future. Professionally, as an accountant, I am not sure how much this would affect me differently than it does in my life now, but if I were to manage a business with the information I now know, I would be much more environmentally conscious. I would be more aware of the products I sold and try to only sell environmentally friendly items that were made in America under humane conditions. I think business owners have a responsibility to everyone on the planet to be as environmentally conscious as possible, so that everyone continues to have a safe planet to live on now and in the future. Knowingly harming the planet to make money is not ethically or environmentally responsible, and I feel every business owner at every level should be accountable. This issue could impact business law because companies need to have stricter laws governing how they conduct business and manufacture products. There should be some sort of standard in the clothing industry that all companies must go from. Companies should not be getting away with child labor or forcing employees to work in inhumane conditions. Also, there should be laws set by the EPA to limit the number of fossil fuels used in manufacturing clothing and the production of so many non-biodegradable items. Having the facts and information of how this is not only polluting our environment, but using the Earth's supply of natural resources and causing great danger to our planet should raise red flags, and stricter laws need to be in place for businesses manufacturing clothing and any other products. If there are not already laws in place for this, I feel there should be laws limiting the use of fossil fuels and other non-biodegradable substances in the manufacturing of clothing, as well as limiting the use of coal and other pollutants as sources of energy in manufacturing. If there were laws in place governing these statistics and companies could be fined for not following the guidelines, they would think more about how much product they were producing and how they were producing it. If money came out of their pockets for breaking the set laws, they would not be making as much of a profit for their fast fashion and may think twice about if it's really worth trying to make money while doing so much harm. Companies need to be held accountable for the labor laws already in effect, and stricter laws need to be made and enforced in all countries. Clothing companies and other businesses should have ethical standards and be aware of what they are doing to the environment. It really does not seem worth destroying our planet just to have fashionable clothing or for companies to make money. As citizen consumers, we have the power to dictate the future of the fashion industry and fast fashion. How we shop and where we spend our money is our voice and our vote on this issue. By shopping smarter and doing our research, we can show the fast fashion industry that we do not support the unjust ways they are treating our environment. We all need to make the commitment to only buy what is necessary and buy from brands that produce products in an environmentally friendly way with natural materials in a domestic setting with a safe working environment. By changing the future of the fashion industry, we can change the future of our planet for the better.